We'll start today's practice in Shavasana, laying on our backs, our arms and legs extended long on the mat. And just let yourself melt into the floor, really relaxing every muscle in your body. And starting with your head and your eyes, relaxing the space between your eyebrows, and then working down to your lips, your tongue, making sure you're not grasping. And then come down to your neck and shoulders, really letting your shoulders roll down your back and just feel yourself really heavy against the floor. And begin to scan down into your elbows, forearms, wrists, and fingers, and see that everything is resting. And then work your way down your chest to your belly. Take a big breath in here, expanding your belly and your ribs. Exhale, press the air out of you. And see that your hips, your legs, all the way down to your toes are in a state of ease and relaxation. And take another breath in and a breath out. And reach your hands high above your head, your point through your toes, and then hug your right knee up and in toward your chest, bringing your forehead to your knee. Inhale, extend, arms and legs long. Exhale, bring your left knee up and in toward your chest. Extend long, pointing through your toes, reaching your fingers. Hug your right knee in. And we'll continue with this motion, reaching your arms and legs long. Hug your left knee in. With your own breath, your inhale reaching you long, your exhale pulling a knee in. Inhale, expanding, growing, lengthening. Exhale, contracting, feeling that pull in your belly. We'll take one more on each side. When you've evened out both sides, hug both of your knees up and into your chest. Rock left and right. And then begin to rock up and down your spine. Begin to create some momentum as you rock on your spine so that you end up in a seated forward fold. Both of your legs come in front of you. And your arms are reaching, if not for your feet, then maybe for your shins or the tops of your thighs. Let the space in the back of your neck relax and lengthen. Take a breath in and a breath out. And continue to work with this idea of your breath in lengthening your spine, energy through the crown of your head, and your breath out bringing you closer to your legs. Once more, breath in, breath out. Slowly crawl your hands back toward your hips. We'll meet in a tabletop pose. Both of your palms rooted on the mat. Both of your knees gently on the earth. If you need to fold your mat in half to give yourself a bit more cushion, feel free to do so. On a breath in, drop your belly, lift your head. On a breath out, curl your spine, chin to chest. Breath in, belly drops, head lifts. Breath out, curl your spine, chin to chest. Take a few more of these on your own breath, finding your rhythm in your body. Maybe you take a few head rolls along the way. Maybe you shake your hips out a bit as you move through these cat-cows, giving yourself what you need, your unique expression. Gently come back to a neutral spine. Extend your left arm long and your right toes long, taking a spinal balance. Your right big toe is shifted toward the floor. Your hips are square. Your left arm is reaching. Take a breath in, breath out. Another breath in, lengthens your arm and leg. Breath out, bring your elbow to your knee, contracting your spine just as you did in cat pose. Inhale, extend and expand. Exhale, contract. Once more, lengthen through, contract. And drop your left hand to the mat. Cross your right toes over to the left side of your mat. Gaze falls over your left shoulder. Deep breath in, breath out. Come back to tabletop pose. Move through a cycle of cat-cow, dropping your belly, lifting your head, and then contracting as you pull your belly in and arch your back. Come back to a neutral spine. Extend your right arm, left leg long, spinal balance. Find your footing, find your steadiness here. And then as you're ready, inhale and then lengthen. Exhale, contract, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Once more, growing long in your arm and leg. Contract. Drop your right palm to the mat, cross your left toes over to the right side of your mat. Gaze falls over your right shoulder. Cycle of breath in and out. Come back to a tabletop pose. Shift your hips back, child's pose. Your knees go wide, your big toes come to touch, and your arms are reaching long forward. Let your forehead rest on the mat. If this doesn't feel comfortable, you can bring one cheek to rest on the mat. Maybe here you set an intention for your practice, how you hope to feel. Maybe you have one word that you want to continue to play throughout your mind. It could be calm, could be focus, could be acceptance. After you've picked a word, take a deep breath in and a breath out. Downward facing dog. Press your palms into the mat, lift your hips, pedal out your heels left and right. A nice stretch in both of the calves. On a breath in, lift your heels, bend your knees, and step forward. Halfway lift, lengthen through your spine. Forward fold. Sweep your hands above your head, extended mountain. Hands through heart center, forward fold. Breath in, lengthens you halfway. Fold. Extended mountain. This time, catch your left wrist, bend to the right. Nice side bend. Breath in brings you center. Catch your right wrist, bend to the left. Inhale, back to center. Chair pose. Sink your hips, bend your knees. You can bring your hands to your heart center or keep them reaching and lifted. Wherever you are, settle in, finding a nice place to set your gaze, your focus. Your drishti is what we call it in Sanskrit. Forward fold. Lift and lengthen halfway. Plant your hands, step your feet to the back of the mat, high plank. Bend your elbows all the way, lowering your belly to the mat. Cobra pose. Release. Downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Another deep breath in, long breath out. Lift your heels, bend your knees, and step or hop forward. Lift your spine halfway. Exhale, release. Extended mountain pose. And catch your left wrist, bend to the right. Back to center. Catch your right wrist, bend to the left. Back to center. Chair pose. And settling back in. Hips shift back, knees bend. Your belly button is hugging in. Your abdominals are engaged. Continue to breathe in and out. Forward fold. Lift and lengthen your spine halfway. Plant your hands, step your left foot to the back of the mat, warrior one. Your back heel comes down to a 45-degree angle. Your arms are lifted and reaching. Clasp your hands at your low back. Breath in opens up your chest. Breath out, humble warrior, sinking toward your right leg. Maybe you shake out your head, yes and no. Warrior one, sweep your arms up. Plant your hands, step your right foot back to your left, high plank, option to lower yourself all the way or halfway. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. And let that settle in with a deep breath in and a long breath out. Cycling through your breath. Letting it lift you, motivate you, quite literally inspire you as you continue to move. Breathe your heels high, bend your knees, and step to the top of the mat. Lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Extended mountain pose, arms reach above your head. Catch your left wrist, bend to the right. Breath in, back to center. Catch your right wrist, bend to the left. Come back to center. Chair pose. As you bring your hands to your heart center, notice if you can roll your shoulders down your back. You can relax your jaw, the space between your eyebrows. Notice if you're working harder than you need to sustain yourself in this pose. Can you find a bit of buoyancy, a bit of ease in your hips and knees? Take a breath in. Breath out, forward fold. Lift and lengthen your spine halfway. Plant your hands, step your right foot to the back of the mat, warrior one. Clasp your hands at your low back. Inhale, arches your spine. Exhale, fold, humble warrior. Shake your head out again. Warrior one, arms come up. Plant your hands, step your left foot back to meet your right. High plank. Bend your elbows, lowering yourself halfway or all the way. Upward facing dog or cobra to downward facing dog. Shake your head out here. Pedal your heels left and right. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees. Step or hop forward. Long spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Sink right in, chair pose. Bring your hands to your heart center. Wide arm twist to the right. Right hand reaches toward the back wall. Left hand reaches toward the front. Take a cycle of breath here. Sweep both arms forward, chair pose, and bring them to your heart center. Wide arm twist to the left. Bring your arms forward, chair pose, hands to heart center, forward fold. And take a really wide stance with your feet. And grab opposite elbows with your hands for a ragdoll. You can rock left and right if that feels nice. And gently plant your hands and step your feet to the back of the mat, moving through a vinyasa or coming right to downward facing dog. Taking whatever you need to feel today in your practice. Reach your right leg toward the ceiling, three-legged dog. There's a flex in your foot. And step your right foot forward, crescent lunge. You're high on the ball of your left foot. Your arms are reaching up over your head toward the ceiling, elongating your spine with strength in your legs. And take a wide arm twist here, reaching your right arm behind you. Come back, crescent lunge to half moon, reaching both of your hands first toward the floor, then peeling open your left side body, feeling the flex in your left foot, the lift in the whole left side of your chest, and the expansion of your arms. And there's the option to stay here, or you can take a bind, reaching for your left ankle. Remembering to breathe. If you've lost your breath, perhaps you have to release the bind. It's always okay to change your mind, to go back, to rework things that don't quite turn out the way we intended them to. And slowly release the bind if you have it, coming to a forward fold at the top of your mat. Halfway lift, lengthen through your spine. Plant your hands, step your feet to the back of the mat, moving through a vinyasa. High plank to low, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And reach your left leg high, three-legged dog. The flex in your foot, reaching your heel even higher, keeping your hips square, and then step your left foot forward, crescent lunge. High on the ball of your right foot, arms reaching high. And take a wide arm twist to the left. Crescent lunge, half moon. Peeling open your right side, feeling the lift in your right fingertips, the flex in your right foot. And stay here or take the bind. Gently release the bind, forward fold, and take a really wide stance with your feet, taking another ragdoll, swaying left and right, letting everything go, letting gravity take over. And then heel toe your feet back together. Reach your arms high above your head, extended mountain, chair pose. And see if you can sink even an inch deeper than you had before. And settling into this pose in a new way. Approaching what might feel difficult or sticky with curiosity rather than judgment. On a breath in, reach your arms higher. And breath out, sink your hips deeper. And do that again. Breath in. And breath out, sink an inch lower. Breath in lengthens you. Breath out sinks you even lower. How low can you go is the name of the game here. Breath in and reach. Breath out, lower your hips to the mat. Boat pose. Your hands can come to your heart. Or if you need a more supportive version of this pose, you can bring your forearms to the mat. Your abdominals are still working either way. It's just a different way to approach. Wherever you are, you're breathing deeply, knowing that breath is what is allowing you to sustain this pose. On an exhale, lower to low boat. Inhale, high boat. Exhale, low boat. Inhale, high boat. Exhale, lower all the way to the mat. Hug your knees up and into your chest for a happy baby, grabbing the soles of your feet, maybe your shins or inner thighs, reaching your heels high with a deep bend in your knees. If it feels nice, you can even rock left and right here. And sending some breath to those hip joints. And slowly hug both of your knees back into your chest and rock up and down your spine, creating some momentum each time you do. And then maybe, just maybe, you'll find yourself back in chair pose. Your big toes come to touch and your knees are bent. Take a breath in here. Breath out. And straighten your legs. Reach your arms above your head. Maybe you take a mini back bend. Tadasana, mountain pose. Your arms fall to your sides and create some space between your feet. We'll take a tree pose, so rooting your right leg into the mat, reach your left leg long. You can find a nice place to land. Maybe you're just kickstand, all 5 of your toes of your left foot still on the mat. Or you can watch yourself travel your left leg up your thigh. Anywhere but directly on the knee to preserve the knee joint. Focus your gaze on something unchanging. Your hands at your heart center will help balance your center of gravity here. pulling everything in toward the midline. If you feel steady, you can extend your branches, taking a unique expression of this pose. Slowly release, Tadasana, shaking your hips left and right, letting that go. And then root your left leg into the mat, tree pose. Right leg travels somewhere along the left leg. And taking whatever expression in your hands feels right to you. Slowly release, shake that out. We'll take dancer pose. If dancer is new to you, we'll root our right leg into the mat and reach for our left ankle, maybe even the inner left foot. So it looks a lot like a quadricep stretch to start. And if that's what you have today, then that's where you stay. But maybe you explore the possibility of reaching your right hand forward and extending your left leg behind you, feeling an opening in the left shoulder joint. Dancer. Gently release, let that go. Root your left leg into the mat. Work for the stretch. First grabbing your inner right foot, reaching your left fingertips long, and then maybe you begin to tilt and lift for a dancer's pose. Knowing that growth is growth, no matter how small, no matter how insignificant it might seem. Nobody starts off being an expert. Gently release, shake it out. Reach your arms above your head, forward fold. Step your feet to the back of the mat, high plank. Lower yourself all the way to your belly. Let one cheek rest on the mat, your arms at your sides. Just letting yourself be and breathe. We'll set up for a locust pose, clasping our hands at our low back or even keeping them long at our sides. Reach the crown of your head forward so that your shoulders and chest come up off of the mat. Point through your toes, maybe so that the tops of your feet come off the mat. Engage your belly here to keep you lifted. And remember to breathe in and out. Inhale, exhale. Once more, your brightest inhale yet, lifting you maybe even an inch higher. Exhale, release. Drop your other cheek to the mat. Feel your heart against the mat beating. Maybe even some beads of sweat that could have started to form. Embracing it all for what it is. We'll set up for another heart opener. That can be locust or a full bow is in your practice. You can reach for both of your ankles and lift your head, chest, shoulders away from the earth. 3 breaths here. Gently release. Shake that out. Windshield wipering your legs left and right. We'll press back to a child's pose. Then slowly press yourself back to a tabletop pose. Reach your left arm, right leg in opposite directions. Spinal balance. You can stay here, feeling the lift just in your arm and leg bone as they are, or you can reach for the bind, reaching your left hand for your right ankle. This is an intense stretch, so it's not quite there yet. You can just work with the action of bending at the right knee. Gently release. Take a cycle of cat-cow. Drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, curl the spine, chin to chest. Come back, neutral spine. Extend your right arm, left leg long. Stay here or take your version of the bind. Slowly release. And press back, child's pose. Walk your hands up to the tops of your thighs and then tuck your toes onto the mat for a toe pose. So your feet are flexed, your toes are tucked under, and you're sitting on your heels. This can be super intense, so take it as you can, breath by breath. We spend so much of our day walking, standing, running. We're on our feet all day. Even if we're sitting, our feet are taking some of the pressure. So this is a great counter pose to open up all of the tight tissue in the feet. 2 more breaths. Slowly release. We'll make our way onto our backs. Hug your knees up and in. Gently drop both of your knees over to the right side of your mat. Open your arms. Gaze falls to the left. Bring your knees back to center and drop them over to the left. Open your arms, gaze falls right. Bring your knees back into your chest, giving yourself a big squeeze. Then we'll take a waterfall pose, so reach the soles of your feet up toward the ceiling. Let your hands just rest gently on your sides. Maybe you bring one hand to your heart and the other one to your belly if that feels good. And this is a great one for calming our bodies, activates the parasympathetic nervous system. And so when we do this at the beginning of our day, in the middle of our day, or at the end of our day, calms us as we head into whatever we're facing next off of our mats. We have just a half hour here to tap into our bodies, tap out of our minds, the thinking, and into the being. So this pose is a really great way to do so. And gently drop your legs to the mat, extending long, Shavasana. Arms and legs melt back toward the earth, just as you started. Let your effortful breath go